And now we're going to move on to our first segment, water holding vessels. Now this is a typical potable water tank. It's actually quite close to Sydney's International Airport when you drive past at Tempe. And the job requirement for Radcon here was to remove a failed rubber membrane of about 30-year-old vintage. You may be able to see some of the calcium leaching here. The tank was beginning to leak. And the Radcon mission here was to empty out the tank, dry it with heater units, apply the product as a waterproofing membrane for Sydney drinking water. This tower sits by our east coast off Sydney at the suburb of Vaucluse, and this job actually entailed a 60-year-old tank that had serious concrete cancer or spalling, and the requirement for Radcon here was to repair the concrete spalling, protect the outer skin of the tank with the Radcon 7 product, and then apply a concrete stain to give a nice aesthetic finish. And I see this tank from my home residence. It was done about 15 years ago, and it'll be a long time before that tank even requires a repaint. This is one of our early jobs in 1988, and this is an interesting job because originally this courtyard area was designed for gardens. It was a last-minute change of plan. It wasn't really engineered for a lake. However, there is a car park underneath this for the hotel guests, and of course that gives us a great site reference. And this of course is also a prompt. There's the koi carp fish in the lake, and Radcon, being a non-toxic material, quite suitable for potable water, aquariums and the like. This is an interesting job because this is a Radcon miracle job. This is a swimming pool that belongs to the engineering, or one of the engineering fraternities of the army in Italy. And you can get underneath this pool, and what was visual was a lot of stalactites and long-term leaking. The engineers themselves believed the requirement was to build a new pool inside the old pool, in fact a rebuild. And Radcon Italia emptied this swimming pool, repaired the grout mortar joints between the tiles, treated the mortar joints with the Radcon product, and achieved a 100% sealing success. Now this is another interesting swimming pool story. This is a Gilbring swimming pool, which is a diving pool that is 15 feet deep at the deep end. And what our applicators are looking at here is they've done the Radcon job and the pool's been filled up, but there's still leakage evident. And what this slide is showing to us over a period of days is that at the deep end, where there's the heavy hydrostatic pressure, leakage took some days to seal. Up here, after the second day, we're seeing it start to dry up. And this is proving to us again the ability of Radcon, once it is into the cracks of the concrete, even if there's not an immediate seal, that under hydrostatic pressure the product will still grow across and seal from the inner edge right the way through the concrete slab as it grows its gel reaction. This one here is the Curragh mines for BHP Billiton, BHP in those days. And the relevance of this treatment is this is a coal washing dam. And of course, as the coal is washed around the concrete, the abrasion factor is exceedingly high. And this again reminds us that Radcon increases the hardness of concrete from 6 to 8 on Mohs scale, 8 being the equivalent of granite. So obviously no internal lining materials or membranes could have done this job, but the bonus was that we have improved the integrity of the concrete for many, many more years to come. And of course this one we like to get out and around in the nowhere places or the small places of the world. We're doing the seawater tanks here for a little island in the Pacific called Nauru. And the relevance of this shot is that they hold the salt water in tanks prior to actually treating it through desalination. And these tanks had rusted out, and actually our job here was to see new tanks built inside, and then the Radcon applied to ensure that there'd be no rebuilding of tanks again ever in the future. So recapping our water holding vessel's key features. We have several tests on the hydrostatic side. Our most impressive test would again be through SINTEF in Norway, where a cylinder of concrete that was cracked, Radcon treated and leaking was put under a pressure head of 400 metres. In fact, Radcon didn't fail at 400 metres, the actual concrete sample exploded. And again, this is showing to us that Radcon is handling unlimited hydrostatic pressure. And of course, all of our non-toxicity certificates, we do saltwater, marine aquariums, which are the most sensitive of all life forms on the planet, with total safety and confidence. Radcon, of course, in using the calcium in concrete in the surface layers, is also inhibiting any sort of calcium leaching or turbidity that would make your water alkali in new concrete tank or holding tank situations. In these situations, we are highly cost effective, we are very fast to apply, we prevent all salt ingress to the first line of reinforcement, and of course we are always stressing unlimited lifespan.